All right. Good morning. Welcome to our Fun Fridays from the Field Career Chat brought to you by Northeast Iowa Community College and College and Career Connections and the Keystone AEA. Today we are featuring Seed Savers Exchange located in Decorah, Iowa. Our special guests today are Katie and Briana. Katie is the evaluation manager and Briana is the seed bank manager. I will turn it over to them for them to introduce themselves and their roles that they have at Seed Savers. And then after that, they have prepared a video for us that they will talk throughout the video and kind of explain some things. And then after the video, we'll be able to go into some questions. So I will turn it over to you.
Thank you so much. It's really good to be here. I'm the evaluation manager here, and my job is my team's job. I have one tech assistant who helps me in the field, is to grow crops for evaluation. So the crops that we grow here on my team are not for seed saving. We are growing them to study the plants and take measurements and do all the background growing for our seed company.
Cool. And hi everyone, I'm Briana, and I'm the seed bank manager here. And a big part of Seed Savers Exchange's nonprofit mission is preserving our garden diversity. And a big piece of that is the seed bank, where we store about 20,000 different varieties of garden variety seed. And so as the seed bank manager, my team and I work in a very diverse array of different management of the seed bank that we'll see in the video, anything from the field to the seed lab. It's a very diverse role, very dynamic.
Excellent. Thank you for sharing. Steph, if you want to go ahead and start the video, and then you guys can talk throughout and share the information as the video is playing.
Great.
All right. So as I mentioned, Seed Savers Exchange is a nonprofit organization working to preserve America's garden biodiversity. And this is done in several ways. And here on the video, you can see a portion of our seed bank. So all of these packets you're seeing are different vegetable or fruit seeds that people have donated to us because they wanted it to be preserved for the future. So as the seed bank manager, there's a lot of work that my team and I do with inventory, keeping track of all these packets, all of these accessions. We'll see later that we use a database to keep track of this and lots of spreadsheets all the time. And here I am pulling two different seed varieties that we'll look at later. So it's a marigold and a pepper, and later in this video, we'll get to see them again. So these are two varieties that were donated to us. And in the seed bank, we know we're doing a good job of preserving these varieties if we have enough seed to distribute to the public, and if we have seed with a good germination in the seed bank. So managing germplasm, in this case seed, kind of adds a different aspect to inventory management because the inventory is alive. And so we need to make sure that we are renewing our seed before the germination drops, because seeds don't last forever. They will eventually die. So our goal is to regrow every seed in our seed bank about every 10 years at this point is the goal. So on an average year at Heritage Farm, we grow out about 400 different varieties from the seed bank, just to make sure that the seed is staying healthy, and also with hopes of getting enough seed harvested that we'll be able to distribute it to the public through the exchange. And here I'm in our seed vault. So this is where we store one packet of everything that comes into us, every single accession at 0 degrees Fahrenheit for long-term storage. And here, this is a little glimpse of our database. So I spend a lot of time on the computer throughout the year, running various queries to try and find certain varieties, or maybe I'm looking for different accessions with a certain quality, or maybe there's a certain problem I'm looking for that we're trying to work on. And then this is a quick look into our germination chamber. So part of the seed lab team is our germination technician, and she works on germ testing all the different varieties we have in the seed bank so that we can know what is the health of our seed and what do we need to prioritize for growing out because the germ isn't good. And then we also have some potatoes and tissue culture. And if you remember earlier in the video, we saw those 2 packets of seed. So this is the Marigold de Gibraltar. And I think it's just fun to see the seeds as plants. So this is in our evaluation garden, which Kate is going to talk about real shortly here. So yeah, seed bank manager position is, I do a very wide range of work, just all things seed bank related. And this is the Angelica's little Diablo pepper, which I think are just beautiful. They start out black and ripen to red. And I'm gonna pass it off to Kate.
So here is our evaluation garden that you're about to enter. This is one place where we grow evaluation crops. We also have fields at our farm where we grow the larger crops like squash and melons and corn. So this is just part of what we've planted for the year for evaluation. But you can see there's still a lot going on in the garden. It was still pretty healthy before our frost that we just got. So we grow tons of different varieties of different crops in this garden to evaluate throughout the season. One of the main reasons we grow out a crop is for a lot check. Lot checks are done the year after a seed increase grow out so that we can check to make sure there aren't any off types or issues with the varieties that we're hoping to grow for distribution in the exchange. So these are all seeds from our collection. They're not part of our catalog yet, but one day they hope to be. This is another reason we grow out crops for evaluation is the ADAPT program, which is a community science program where we send out seeds to hundreds of people throughout the country and Canada, and they grow out seeds that we send them and track them throughout the growing season. And we also grow the same seeds to track them and study them. And this is the first year that we did a flower trial. It's always just been vegetables up until now. So these are our sunflowers for our trial. So we take measurements, we record everything, all of the weights and measurements and leaf structure, etc., in our database later. And another third reason that we grow is for our C2C program, which stands for collection to catalog. So we grow out these crops to eventually get the best varieties into our catalog. So this is one of our trials. And going back to this marigold, we grew it out as a lot check this year, but we love it so much, this variety that's so unique as a marigold, that we're suggesting it for the C2C program. So then those seeds in the C2C program get grown out by contract growers later to increase the seed amount, and then they go in the catalog. These are some of the crops that we bring in after we study the plants in the field. Then we harvest everything and bring them in to study the fruits. And here is an example of one of our crops that we grew out this year, which is the Shawnee Pearl corn. We grew out 2 corn varieties, and these are the data sheets we use in the field. And these are 2 tools that we use for certain crops. They study the sweetness of a variety and the pH. So we use that for tomatoes. And this is the print version of our exchange, which is called the yearbook. So exchange is a grower to grower seed swap. So we have this online version called the exchange, and then we have a print version that you saw called the yearbook, and people list different varieties that they've grown out in their gardens. And we also list crops that we've grown out here at Heritage Farm. And then whoever gets the yearbook or goes on the exchange through our website can order any of those varieties.
Wow, that's very interesting. Thank you for sharing all of that information. Steph, are there any questions in the chat so far?
Nope, not so far.
Okay, so if anybody has any questions, you can add it to the chat and we can go through those. But just a couple of things. What are some different career opportunities at Seed Savers?
You want to take that?
Yeah. So Seed Savers is a really unique organization, and we have an incredible array of career opportunities here. So Kate and I work in what's called the preservation department, and so I guess you've kind of gotten a glimpse into what sort of work we do there, but there's also the seed house, which runs the catalog. So that's a lot more like commercial inventory management, order packaging. There is the field crew. So the field crew works out in the fields with the plants that we're growing for preservation, for seed increase, and for some of the eval varieties, and also catalog varieties that we are growing for seed production. So they get lots of outdoor time working out in the fields. We have facilities who, aside from managing this almost 900-acre farm, also tend to 2 herds of cattle. And then we have the visitor center, which is more retail. And then we also have membership and development who work with fundraising for us. Is that it?
And marketing. We have a marketing team that helps with our social media and any advertising for new programs that we're doing. And administration as well.
And
education and outreach. So there's so many different departments just on our campus here at the farm, that there's so many different careers you could have at an organization like ours.
Yeah, so lots of great opportunities. What are some maybe different education or training that would be needed for some of those different types of careers or opportunities within Seed Savers?
Well, for my position and for the field ops positions, having a background in farming would be really beneficial. Taking any botany classes or horticulture, biology classes. So if you want to go in a kind of a hands-on direction for your career, taking any of those courses and kind of leaning that way instead of, more of a general liberal arts background. But I learned farming on the job. So that's another way to get into my career, is just by learning as you go through different jobs on different farms. I went to art school, so my education really has nothing to do with what I do for a career, except that it's all about color and texture and different things. So many visuals are happening on a farm, that a lot of kind of creative types go into farming, actually. What about you, Bree?
Yeah, so for my position, or a similar one, it really, I think, depends honestly on your employer. So the person who hired both of us is definitely someone who is a lot more concerned, not just with having, I guess, basic educational or experience backgrounds for that apply to the job, but also looking at maybe less tangible skills like teamwork, leadership, morale, just interpersonal skills, communication. But for me personally, I guess my education background was conservation biology. And through my conservation biology education, all the issues in conservation almost always come back to how we're producing our food, which is what got me interested in food systems. So then I started seeking out food system related jobs, including working on organic vegetable farms in the area. And yeah, and I loved decor, so I ended up back at Seed Savers Exchange. And I do wish that in college I would have taken botany or horticulture, but I didn't. I did work at a museum in college, and so that experience with curatorial work has actually translated very nicely to this position. And then also just previous management experience has been very helpful.
Excellent. What are some things that you guys really like about your jobs, and maybe some things that you don't like or kind of dislike a little bit about the jobs?
Sure. So there is a lot that I really like about my job. We have just a very friendly work environment where it feels very easy to get your work done, but also have great interactions with your coworkers. I think my work is very interesting and it's very diverse. So I'm not doing the same thing all the time. I get variety, not just throughout the day or the week, but throughout the year. I think our work is really meaningful and impactful and makes the world a better place. So that goes a long way. I like that I get to be inside, but I also do get to go outside and do some field work every once in a while. And Seed Savers is on just a gorgeous piece of land. So I love being able to go outside for my breaks, and I'm in the woods. It's amazing. Yeah, so that's kind of the first things that come to my mind for what I like.
Yes. So I love my job. I get to go outside and farm almost every day except for the winter. And then I get to run this amazing community science program and have interactions with all of our growers. I work with an amazing team of people. I have my tech, Sydney, that we get along really wonderfully and have a great time in our positions. And I also get to learn on my job. Since I didn't take any botany or horticulture courses, I get to learn all the different names of parts of plants and go in a more scientific route when we bring the crops in to study them. So that's really exciting and interesting to keep learning on your job. Yeah, and we have a great department we all get along super well and communicate very well with each other, which is so important for any job that you go into, is communication, and being open and willing to talk with people and collaborate with people, which our department does really well. We have a great director of our department, which is a huge plus. We have a great manager, so who makes it fun to come to work, and we have a super relaxed work environment, like Bree was saying. Like, because we're on a farm, it's not a stuffy place to work. No one comes to work in a suit or or a skirt. So it's just very relaxed, and we're all like a big family.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, yeah. Did you want us to do the second half of that question? The like maybe our less favorite parts?
Yeah, if you have, if you have some, yeah, that'd be great.
Sure. Well, I guess if I had to come up with some least favorite or things that I don't like so much about the job, I would just say that our nonprofit, like conservation focused work, conservation biodiversity, is undervalued. So all the time, as an organization, we're always kind of thinking about money and like, where's the money coming from? And yeah, and our work is just a bit undervalued, I think. So, that's all I got.
Yeah, I don't really have a bunch of negative things to say about my job or the organization. So I think I'll skip that one.
That's great. It's really good to hear too, the soft skills, communication, teamwork. Those are some things you guys definitely honed in on. So those are definitely important skills. But any final thoughts or anything you'd like to share as we conclude today from our segment with NICC, College and Career Connection, and Keystone AEA with Seed Savers?
Not really.
No, it's a great organization to work for, and you have to communicate also outside your department with tons of other departments that we have here. So those skills really go a long way.
Yeah. Yep. I just echoing what you said, Seed Savers Exchange is a great place to work for so many reasons, and kind of echoing what you said, soft skills are really so important for just employability, I guess.
Yeah, excellent. Well, thank you. Have a good rest of your day, everybody.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.